Hey, what's going on, parents?
What's up, parents?
Happy Teenager Tuesday.
Teenager Tuesday.
If you can't tell, Elijah Keck is on the podcast with me. Hey, Elijah.
Hi. I don't know if anyone else sings when they do podcasts, but I do that a lot, it seems like.
All of the students that we just had, I think I might be remembering wrong. I think we just had like 6 former seniors of Hope. All of them sang.
Smart. See,
Actually,
they've learned.
No.
Go back and watch those or listen to those. Those are good podcasts.
That's right. Actually, none of them sang, I think. But they were great. It was really cool. I hope it was encouraging to a lot of you. We're back this week with Culture Update. And then next week, we got a 2-part series starting on boredom. More to come about that.
Yeah.
More in a second. I said that incorrectly. However, speaking of saying things incorrectly, what do we got right now?
So we got Culture Update, and today we always start Culture Update with a little slang word of the week. And today's, I think you're gonna know what this one means. Honestly, I think you and I represent this a little bit in our lives. I've been called this before.
Already?
Already. The word unk. UNC, unk.
Unk. I don't feel like we're old enough to be called unk, personally.
I have my moments, I feel like. The word unk, maybe you're sitting there and you're going, Elijah, well, what does this word mean? My son calls me unk, but I'm his dad. What do I say? What does that mean? Can you give a guess or just a thought, man, when you're mine, if someone called you unk, what would you think?
Well, I do know what this is. The first time I saw this, I saw it online, and it was like, I feel like it went from there is no unk to everybody saying this about everybody older than them that tries to appear cool. Actually, you know what I think it started is when Will Smith kind of tried to make his comeback with that, like a couple rap songs that were pretty cringy from most people's point of view. Maybe you like those rap songs. Yeah, but like trying to be relevant.
Right. Yeah, I think it comes from like the word uncle as like, you think of like family reunion, your uncle comes in, he's trying to relate to you. Yeah. Like bro's trying too hard right now, trying to say things that don't make sense. Like he's saying slang words that make no sense in context.
Dressing too cool for his age.
Yes. Yeah. I actually heard this for the first time on the basketball court. People would call him like an unk, somebody like older is trying to play down with the younger guys, has an old person game, he's unk. Yes. So use that word. Maybe call your student an unk if they're trying to be cool too much. But you might get called this. Fair warning. You might. It's on the upswing here.
Now, Elijah, have you ever seen a woman be called unk? I don't think I've seen a girl.
I've never heard that.
Never.
Maybe aunt. Maybe that's the next swing.
I don't think there's a girl equivalent right now.
No.
That's the next wave.
Because girls are just cooler longer, I think.
Wow.
That's kind of the truth.
Yeah, not us.
The next thing we have is TikTok. Just to be fair, we are not huge TikTok supporters here. Mm-hmm. There's a lot with TikTok that privacy-wise, and there's very invasive things about TikTok, and I just don't think it's the best social media to be on.
TikTok is like the Cocomelon of social media.
Oh my gosh, it totally is. It's everywhere. Students are always on it, and it can be mild. I mean, it can be dangerous for sure. Some of the things that are on there, but something that is on there that I wanted to talk about was this idea of it's really a trend, which is funny, but it's a digital detox challenge. A digital detox challenge, and honestly, what that means is a lot of kind of popular TikTokers have done these little challenges, 24 hours without my phone or 48 hours without my phone or things like that, which to you are like, that seems so easy.
Yeah.
24 hours. But I mean, being a youth pastor, being on mission trips with students, you can see it. It is like, it's almost a drug. Like they're like, I gotta get back to my room so I can send my Snapchats.
Okay, the Snapchat thing is crazy. The streaks, the addiction to streaks.
It's crazy.
At camp where there's like hardly any cell service, students were going crazy saying they were gonna lose their streaks. Like wild.
Yeah, we had a student on the mission trip. They were on the same trip. They had to send each other a streak because they're at 1,800 days.
How many years is that?
That's like,
I don't
know. Don't ask me that.
I would guess a little under 5 years.
It's crazy.
356.
But so there's a big thing. People are doing this and taking time off from their phones. So maybe worth a conversation with your student if they have heard of it, but also might be good for them to bring up healthy conversation about what does a detox look like in your own family, not just your student, but family-wise. What does a detox look like with your family? Maybe at dinner, or here's a couple hours set aside. Let's play a board game. You guys remember those? It's when your family sat around a table and played a board game.
We weren't much of a board game family. We were more just bored.
Bored. Yeah, that's next week. Don't bring that up.
Yeah, there you go.
But try it out. Ask your student about it. And then honestly, I would encourage you to do it as a family. Like, here's a few hours set aside, or here's some time set aside to do a digital detox. That's screens, TVs. And let's just get alone. Let's talk. Let's spend some time just not on our phones.
Yeah. One of the more interesting things that I saw from that is those influencers talked about how much their sleep improved.
Yes.
Not because they were doing it late into the night, but because they didn't have the option for it, so they just slept better. Which, teenagers need a ton of sleep and need to sleep in and go to bed. So if it's messing with their mind, that could mess with their mind
for sure.
Long term.
Definitely will.
Speaking of that, the next culture update part, we want to talk a little bit about AI chatbots, which are really going crazy. Even on Snapchat, they have AI chatbots. I believe most social media, I actually don't know for TikTok, but I know on Instagram, there's an AI chatbot you can interact with. And, there are apps that are called Calm and Headspace, which I've heard good things about for mental health. Yes, I've heard good stuff about them. However, there is this trend that's starting that I've even seen a few students interacting with only this AI chatbot in an app on X, on talking with ChatGPT like it's a real person, and that is starting to go towards mental health, like them going to the chatbot for their talking through life issues, just mental health in general, their emotions, going to chatbots, which is terrifying.
Yes, it is. It's so scary.
Yes.
There's so much that I think you're missing out on. So we'll go into a few of these that we think maybe here's some of the red flags with this. The first one I think is pretty obvious. This isn't a real person, right? This isn't someone that's an actual connection point, a family member, a mentor. This is a chatbot that won't be around forever. That's not a person that they will be invested in, that will be invested in their life.
They can't high five a chatbot.
Right.
Realistically.
Yeah. Maybe in the future. No. Sadly. Weirdly.
Yeah, weird, But the chatbot's not even listening to them.
Right.
It's just actually predictive texting to them.
Right, that's correct. So to them, it's going to feel like a connection point. It's going to feel like something like that, which honestly a lot of students might turn to because communicating with other people can be such a challenge.
Yeah, and uncomfortable.
And they kind of know what they're going to get from a chatbot. So,
man,
why don't I just let it all out there to the chatbot? They're not going to tell anybody. They're not going to know my secrets. They're not going to know my pain. And then that'll solve my problems. And so it can sadly start to replace that human connection. And I think we'll end up damaging a lot of friendships, a lot of family relationships because they're not going to their parents. They're going to something that's not real.
Right. And they're not working and developing on that even muscle of vulnerability of talking with a human, even though that human might reject you or not keep your secrets a secret, which goes to number two, it could lead to this distortion of reality of support, because the AI bot wants to interact with you according to an algorithm that keeps interacting with you. And so your student might feel this, or person, maybe not even a teenager, but whoever is interacting with this chatbot may feel heard or helped, but that robot, that algorithm does not actually have empathy. It's not helping keep that person accountable. It's not using wisdom. It's just using predictive text that is consumed because of what real people have put on the internet or into this bot. So it's just it could be this distortion of reality of how other people should react to their struggles versus how an AI bot does react to their struggles.
Yeah, a lot of things that over the last few years, there's a few people I've listened to on parenting, and they always talk about having your students build resilience. Emotionally, letting them struggle, letting them walk through hard things, and then helping them as they get to those hard things, walk through that with wisdom. And this is where this chat bots things are going to come into play, where it's going to weaken their resilience on how to actually fight through something, because I can just go to this and get an immediate answer that's going to make me feel better about this situation, rather than having to have resilience and fight through an emotion or fight through something or a friendship issue. They can just have a quick fix, which is something that these are really the internet's trying to be a quick fix to everything in our lives.
Yeah.
Rather than have to actually have the emotional resilience to fight through that.
Which is number 3. It could weaken emotional resilience.
Yeah.
And then number 4, and then we're kind of done with this. Well, although we have some next steps for you, is there are privacy and safety risks. There's already been a couple instances that I know of that, one specifically with that I'm forgetting his name, Sam Altman, the ChatGPT guy.
Yeah.
Is that him?
I think Altman.
That they've said, hey, this is what we're going to do to keep your privacy or all your prompts, all your voice text messages and voice interactions and stuff private, that they did not actually keep 100%. So it may feel like, hey, this is a safe place to bring all of my stuff and then it'll go nowhere, when in reality it could go somewhere at some point. There's security risk and breaches all the time. I just got something from Apple saying, like, you got to change this password on here because there was a security leak and breach. And my gosh, if you think I can say everything to a chatbot that I'm thinking of and it'll be completely safe, it's not.
Yeah. Especially with how we work, where advertisers are just waiting to get into anything that they can get information on.
And plus, things that we put in writing does not have the same legal protection of free speech. Like if you put something in writing. So it's just dangerous, Yeah. And what do you do with this, parents? What are some next steps? First off, check with your student on how they're interacting with AI. Check if are you interacting with chatbots regularly? Do you know what that is? How are you interacting with AI? And if all of this, if you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do with this? What is AI? Help me. If you go to hopefellowship.net/parent resources, we do have an AI resource for you of AI, what it is, and what you can do with that with your family. So that's number 1, our next steps. Number 2, if your student does use apps with bots on them, ask them how they are using it and be like, hey, what are you doing with that? Like, show me, tell me how you're feeling about that.
Because the reality is, it's like social media. Like, I'm sure when social media started, it's like, okay, well, we don't have to think about it too much because it might not be here in a few years. AI is not going anywhere. It's actually going to be even better, bigger and better and stronger and faster. And I think it's better to get ahead of this conversation as a parent, going, we're not going to be able to restrict AI completely out of their life.
Oh yeah.
Especially when they get older. But how do we train them to use it wisely to bring wisdom into this new technology rather than be surprised by stuff when it happens.
Always better to get ahead of it and be prepared for it than to have to react to things in the moment. The last thing, we're just going to say this real quick. We kind of ran out of time, but there's another trend online that's kind of going around called slow church, which is just the idea of like, hey, let's just slow down with how we interact with God and not just do it to check a box and get out of here. But what would happen if we slow down, take a breath, and be okay with stillness? Which is a great segue to next week, where Elijah and I are going to start a 2-part series on boredom. But for now, parents, always remember, you are not alone. God is with you, and so are we. Have a great week.
See ya.